Hey, so I just went and saw The Expendables 2 in theaters, and if you're not familiar with my thoughts on Expendables 1, I thought it was just way overhyped, and I thought it was a decent movie, and I'm not bashing it at all, but I just thought it wasn't as good as they made it out to be. So now I went into Expendables 2, but I mean, how can you not go see Expendables 2 if you're a man? You have to see it. There's no choice. So who's in Expendables 2? We got Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Chuck Norris, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terry Crews, Randy Couture, I'm not sure how you say it exactly, Liam Hemsworth. So there's your main cast on the Expendables. What I kind of want to do is I just want to go over each character and tell you basically their part in the movie. I don't want to give away too much, but because I definitely right now I'm just gonna say see this movie. This is in my top 5 movies of this year. It's definitely worth seeing. Much better than the first one, and so I'm not gonna give away a whole lot of the plot. The plot isn't too intricate, anyways. It's pretty simple, and it's not really about the plot, I guess. Okay, so I'm not necessarily going to go in a certain order, though. I'm going to start with Liam Hemsworth. He's kind of the young guy of the group. He was in the army, and he didn't really like it, and he left. Now he joined the Expendables, and he's already wanting to leave. He's kind of there just like to show you, for some reason, how old everyone else is. You know, he's real young, but like you can already tell they're old. You don't need this young guy to prove it. So. He's like their support sniper, and he already wants to leave the Expendables at the beginning of the movie. Though he wants to get married, and this isn't the life for him really. Next up, we got Terry Crews, which I really don't understand how Terry Crews got into the Expendables. Has he ever been in an action movie at all? Not that I can remember. Not that I noticed in his bio or anything. But he's basically in this movie to be comic relief, which he's been in a lot of comedies, so he's pretty good at that. And he's also there to be like the muscle, because he is by far the biggest, buffest guy in this movie, and he's definitely not afraid to show it off. Randy Couture, I don't even know. He wasn't even in this movie. Very forgettable role for him, I think. Let's see. Dolph Lundgren, which he didn't do a lot in this movie. He was there a lot for the comedy too, for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he was pretty funny. If you're a big Jet Li fan, this movie's gonna be a disappointment for you. He's only in the very beginning, and then he leaves. I'm not sure if they were saying he was leaving the Expendables completely, or he's just like on vacation, but he leaves the group. Jason Statham, he's kind of there as Sylvester Stallone's support, and him and Stallone are kind of the main characters. And I kind of got worried because even though I have nothing against Jason Statham, if you see a Jason Statham movie, you expect there to be some good fighting. And the problem with a movie like this is there's so many people, you just can't get to everyone. And I was like, man, they better have a fight scene with him or I'm going to be upset. And he ended up having 2. The second one was better. The first one was okay, but he just kind of like took on like 20 guys and was like throwing knives, and it wasn't, to me, his type of fight. The second fight is a lot better. You got Sylvester Stallone, who is obviously the main character, the leader of the Expendables, and he's kind of like trying to develop a character here. I think he's kind of sad and remorseful for the life he's led as a mercenary. Not necessarily just like the people he's killed, but like the things he didn't do with his life, get married and have a family, and the outcomes that have come to people around him. I think they kind of really developed that a lot in the movie, but he's still, he has jokes, and it was weird. He had a pistol, like, in every scene, and a lot of times he had a revolver, and he's like killing everybody, and like everybody else has machine guns. It's like they couldn't just shoot him. He really had to pull out a revolver to take everyone out, so I didn't understand that, but still a good job there from Stallone. The newcomer, one of the newcomers, Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's the bad guy, which is pretty obvious from the trailers. And, they kind of wasted him. they almost completely wasted him. The first 3/4 of the movie, he does one kick. And, same thing with Jean-Claude Van Damme as Jason Statham. If he's in a movie, you expect there to be some crazy fighting. And he does have, finally, at the end, he has a fight scene. And he does do a couple jumping roundhouse kicks, but I didn't think it was that good of a fight from him. Maybe he's out of practice. I don't know. I think he was kind of wasted. And then we got Bruce Willis, who, him and Arnold in the first one were both, disappointing to everyone who saw that movie because they just talked for like 2 minutes and that was it. So what's even the point? Their roles were a little bigger in this one, but I still wouldn't call them like full-on roles. Bruce Willis, he has a couple talking scenes, and then at the end, he does end up driving and shooting, and kind of like that. Arnold, I think, was a little bit bigger. He's in the beginning, and then at the very end, and he just pretty much shows up to give his classic lines and some more jokes, and he does do some shooting and stuff. I thought he was pretty good. I enjoyed Arnold in that movie. I think he still looks pretty good even for his age. So I guess I saved best for last. We got Chuck Norris, and I wasn't sure if he'd be in this movie very much. He was in enough to satisfy me, but again, he's only shows up in the middle and then comes back at the end. And they kept calling him Lone Wolf, and I wasn't a Lone Wolf, and I wasn't sure if that was like because he was in the movie Lone Wolf McQuade or just random. And like it was funny because he just showed up in the middle to give a Chuck Norris joke. I was like, really? It was good though. It was hilarious. And but that's kind of one problem I found with the movie, if there was any, was that they're trying to develop these characters into something more deeper than they are, but then they give these stupid lines that are they're real life people, like at one point Arnold goes, now all we need is Rambo, and it's like, well, Sylvester Stallone's trying to be a serious character, now he's calling him Rambo, and it just, I thought that was disappointing that they kind of did some of that stuff, but it was pleasing to the fans, it was pleasing to me, but for the whole story aspect, it kind of ruins the development of the characters. So now let me talk a little bit more about the movie. The first 10 minutes is non-stop action. It was really good. A lot of the stuff in the preview is in the first 10 minutes, and then they do work on developing the story, but it's interesting enough. I don't think it drags. It doesn't get boring. It's very interesting. There's jokes through the whole movie, very funny. All these guys were really funny. They all did really good action sequences, but it's just a lot of shooting. Not as much fighting as you would expect, but like I said, I definitely think this is one of the best movies this year. The best movie from any of these guys in a long time, and I definitely don't think Expendables is done. They don't end it in any way, but it is kind of like its own separate movie. There's not really like a sequel feeling. It just kind of feels like its own movie. So, I mean, some of these guys are picking up popularity again, getting in movies again, and I definitely think they'll do an Expendables 3, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I will be there on opening night. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. We are doing a weekly giveaway. The info will be in the description if you want to enter, and thanks for watching.